We are inside a minute. Ken Muscatel lost some time. It's going to mess up his timing, Mark. He's on the front stretch. He's going to have to go through to the back, I believe.
Yes, he needs to go back there. I don't know if he's going to try to keep going and make the start, but, man, it's getting down there with about 40 seconds. We'll see what he needs to do.
38 seconds, and Ken Muscatel, no way he can go slow enough on the front stretch to make a legal start. He cannot cross start-finish before the clock ticks down to 0-0, and it just went by 30 seconds. So he will have to make some kind of a maneuver to get back onto the front stretch and make a legal start. The other two are at the apex of turn 2, way up at the north end. Normally we'd say they're early, but this is the way they've been looking this year. They have 15 seconds to the start. They should be okay.
Oh, man, Ken went across the line. That's tough for him. That's not even a legal start. So the rest of the guys got to get going on, and we got 6 seconds left. They need to get on it and get this heat over.
Muscatel might as well put the hammer down and get going now. It looks like he might be coming back into the pit area.
Yeah, he's done for the day. I know he's very discouraged with the rough water, so here we go for the start, though.
Here comes Terry Troxel in the Miss Elam Plus, making a start as the clock ticks down to 0. J. Michael Kelly not with him. Oh, there's the rookie. He's way up, starting again in turn 2. Boy, this is a mess. We have one legal starter in this race so far, Terry Troxel in Miss Elam Plus, and he's moving very slowly through this turn. These guys are in survival mode, Mark.
Oh, man, survival is to put it lightly. I know Terry, they were doing good on the point situation, and I think he's just going to just grit his teeth and try to pick up those points to get up in the second high points. So what a day.
J. Michael Kelly now making a legal start, just about a half a lap behind Terry Troxel, who started this race some time ago. This might be the worst start I have ever seen for an unlimited hydro. Oh, and J. Michael Kelly bounces high in the air down at the end of the front chute. So we got to keep an eye on these two boats. They do want to run the 3 laps and collect the points, but Mark, it's going to be torture out there.
It sure is, boy. They're going to be sore on Monday, so to speak. It's like you're running in conditions like this. I relate it to the first day of football practice, so to speak. Man, the next day you're hurting because you're bouncing around so much in these boats. So, but that's the way it goes. You got to be a racer. You got to be tough.
Terry Troxel has a quarter of a lap to go, and he'll have 1 lap in the books out of the 3. J. Michael Kelly is a straightaway behind him now, running up the Canadian side. That's actually Canadian water over there. The international boundary runs right through the middle of this race course. They joked about having a customs booth here at the apex of turn 1 and slowing everybody down for a little bit of an inspection, but we haven't seen that. We do have a large crowd of Canadians on their side enjoying Hydrofest here. Oh, Terry Troxel bouncing high out of the water. It's right at that point where it doglegs a little bit to the left, Mark, and you got enough going on. You don't need to be making a left turn there, too.
That's right. He was having trouble right from the get-go. The first day they were here on their testing and qualifying, the boat was really loose, and it wasn't even this rough out, so he's just having a heck of a time. This makes it really bad. You set your boat up for a higher speed, and when you run slower speeds like this, it's just upsetting. You have a hard time handling the boat, kind of gets away from you in the rough waves. The boat actually reacts off the waves rather than an aerodynamic situation, so you got those tough hydrodynamic forces pushing against you. It makes for a really rough ride.
Looks like Terry is trying to find a speed at which his boat will handle. He came down the front chute with a pretty good head of speed that almost cost him his race boat. Then he slowed way down and went through the turn, and now he's very slow up the backstretch as J. Michael Kelly has completed lap 1. And into turn 1.
He got on it just a little bit more. I saw his rooster tail come up, and I think that's what he's trying to do. Just float it a little bit, and, you know, the rookie's got to try it because he's getting beat up, too.
Our leader is Terry Troxel. He has run 1.5 of the 3 laps. Got to be the longest 3 laps of his life, huh?
Yeah, it's, you know, it just, you want to finish the race, and with no competition out there next to you to kind of keep your mind on business. This is tough to feel every bump. I feel for the guys, really do.
I'm guessing it pretty well gets your attention, though. Troxel now onto the front stretch, which again is not a straightaway. It has a little bit of a kink in it, a dog leg, if you will, right at start finish. And Troxel is approaching that now. Now he's running into the wind, Mark, and this is where he got very loose last time he came by, just as he made the dog leg to the left and come around the next buoy. And with to watch him this time, he's got a pretty good head of steam. Perhaps not quite as fast as last time, and a little better boat ride at this speed.
Well, you get into the wind, you know, get that aerodynamics going and get the boat to lift like an aircraft, and you can kind of just tiptoe across the top of him. I know that sounds crazy, but it's just better on your body and better on the boat.
J. Michael Kelly took a big hop up in turn 2, but landed, well, for a moment I thought he was going to be landing backwards, but he got it straightened out, and he's coming down the front stretch now. Troxel has 2/3 of a lap to go as he pulls onto the back straightaway and goes up the Canadian side. And J. Michael tries this front chute, running into the wind. He's at the dog leg, turning left a little bit, walking it from sponson to sponson. That speed right there is working pretty good for him, Mark.
Sure is. I saw the rooster tail kick up. You can find a maximum speed there you can go, and again, into the wind, create some aerodynamics. Now, going down the backstretch, I'm telling you, I've been running in a boat before where I've hit so hard it's just blown the air right out of my lungs, and that's what's happening right now. If you were out there with the guys, or we could have an audio on them, you'd hear a bunch of grunting and groaning, and boy, it's tough on your fillings too. See, I missed the filling. Could you see that?
Jay Michael now is into the north turn again as Troxel, our leader, approaching the apex, and he'll have a lap and a quarter left to go. Boy, Terry is really slow now through turn 2, barely moving in the orange boat, and that seems to be the roughest spot, Mark, is right up there in turn 2 where you've made the downwind run against the current, and it all kind of piles up there where the spectator fleet is, and everybody gets really loose when they get to that end of the race course.
Sure do. Again, like you say, going downwind there and against the current, it's chopping it all up. And for instance, Jay Michael, he's got Troxel in front of him creating another wake, so that just makes it super tough. Hey, where did Jay Michael go? Did he go down here?
Well, we only see one rooster tail in the water right now. He was going up the back chute. He should be back there somewhere. We're watching the flags to see if they give Terry Troxel the checker. We believe he's run his 3 laps of agony and can head back for the pit area.
Boy, these guys are going to be tired, man, after this one. It's just going to be something just to get back to the pits now. It'd be interesting to talk to the guys and see what's happening.
J. Michael Kelly is restarting as we look up the race course and try to spot where that rooster tail is. Just getting the U2 back underway. So Terry Troxel has finished his 3 laps and has picked up 40 points. He'll be in the final heat if indeed he wants to be, Mark, after that experience.
Boy, I tell you, he's probably about now would like to turn his ride over to someone else. I'm sure they're going to have a talk with the officials and everything and see what we're going to do about this race. You know, we're here to race, and we've done it in the really rough water before, for example, in Hawaii. But it's going to be interesting to see what the officials have a call on this.
You're looking at J. Michael Kelly, whose boat went dead on the back chute, the Canadian side. He is restarting it. Restarting is hard to do in these conditions, Mark, because it's so rough. The water comes right up over the front of the boat into the intake and puts out the fire for you.
Sure can. At the slower speeds, you know, the boat bounces and just splashes the water up right down the intake, and those engines need a lot of air, and it's tough to get restarted. What we have in a lot of the turbine boats, the inlet has like a bucket underneath of it to catch keep from getting water out of the bilge, and it'll fill up with water. So you got to kind of hold on when you're restarting. It's a tough thing for a driver to do. You want to keep going. So obviously he hung on long enough, got it relit. He's coming back to the beach.
Well, J. Michael Kelly has it restarted, and now he's settling down again. I'm not sure if he's having engine trouble or water trouble at this point. He has finished 2 laps. If he can finish this one, he'll be done. He'll get the checkered flag, and he can go back to the pit area. But he still has 1,500 feet to make it down to start finish. Now the rooster tail picks up a little bit, and he has it underway.
Well, he might have just been sucking some water. Again, takes a while to get all the fluid out of the inside of the bilge there where the air inlet is. So,
quite an experience the young man is having in his rookie year. I'm sure all of this experience right here will serve him well in the future.
Well, you know, being a guy that's raced for a lot of years, I kind of like it. I like to go give him a bad time. How do you like that now, J. Michael?
Well, go down to the pit area and get a word with Terry Troxel, who managed to make a start. He was the only one of the 3 who made any kind of a real start. He does finish first and pick up 40 points in Miss Elam Plus. We will see him again in the final. J. Michael Kelly ran all 3 laps, and he'll finish second in the Graham Trucking. Ken Muscatel went out, ran part of a lap, said no thank you, went back to the pit area, so he did not finish for the doctor. Let's go down to Mark Evans in the pit area.
That's rough water, man.
That's the roughest I've ever been in.
What, did you just try to kind of find a happy medium and just try to run it?
I did that, but up in the top corner, right, I couldn't see anything out of the cockpit. I could hardly wait until you get the in camera struck. And so Walters was talking to me through the corner going, little bit left, okay, more right, there's a buoy, left, and that's how we went the whole heat.
Oh, man, I tell you what, if there was time for a radio man, this is the time. We'll talk to the rest of them, see what happens.